Hey everybody, Drew here for DrewDat Games here on YouTube.com for the 7th episode of the DrewDat Games podcast. Joining me on the phone as usual is my younger brother Desert Nord. How you doing, bro?
Hey there.
And I gotta start doing this because I used to do this on the channel before, but I really gotta start like these things with this phrase that I used to use. Who dat?
Yeah, Drew that.
I used to do that, and I gotta start doing that again. Like basically for
Maybe.
streams and stuff like this. So I got to really try to get back into a habit of starting with who dat, Drew dat, welcome back to the channel and stuff like that. But with that
Sure.
being said, on today's episode of the podcast, we're going to be talking about a recent article that was posted about a potential studio hiring BioWare employees. We'll be talking about that because that may have implications for Knights of the Old Republic.
Yep.
There's Nintendo Switch sales as well.
Yep.
Let's see. Microsoft rumored to be doing another acquisition, a major one on level of Bethesda in 2021. We'll discuss that. We have confirmed information about MLB The Show 21, its release, the platforms, the prices, and the release date.
Yep. Good stuff.
Yep. As we were told that we would have in February, well, that broke February 1st. This is the 4th, so this was a couple days ago now. And
Yep.
recent reports are claiming devs not wanting to support next gen because no one can buy them. We'll be talking about that. And Mass Effect Legendary Edition, it got a release date, and it's up for pre-order now.
Well, that's good.
And then also we'll be talking about the collector's edition of it. There's some slight controversy with that. So we'll be starting with Asper Media has been hiring, apparently, according to reports, old BioWare employees. Are they the ones making the new KOTOR? I wrote down here. Because some of the employees that they've been hiring evidently worked on Knights of the Old Republic 2, that being from Obsidian, because they've been hiring some Obsidian people too. Oh, sorry, Asper Media actually made or remade KOTOR 2 for mobile phones. They also did Jedi Knight Jedi Outcast for the Nintendo Switch. Spoiler warning, I played it. The controls suck.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're using a Pro Controller, the Joy-Cons in the controller berth, the Joy-Cons in your hand, or in handheld mode. The controls absolutely blow. You can't aim properly. But the fact that there's reports of ex-BioWare employees going to Asper Media suggested they might be the ones doing the next KOTOR.
Yeah, they got to be careful when cherry-picking employees. You don't want to pick the bad ones.
Now, keeping in mind that one of the masterminds at BioWare in regards to the Mass Effect trilogy, Casey Hudson, he's no longer at BioWare again. So,
yeah,
could he be picked up by Asper Media? One can only hope, right? But that's all I really have about Asper Media. Anything do you want to add to that?
Well, no, I just think that it's kind of something that's happened before. So you just hope that it's a good thing in this case.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
Indeed. So with that said, we'll move on to the next topic. Some people say to expect Microsoft to make a Bethesda-level acquisition in 2021. Now, keeping in mind when Microsoft, well, the deal is not official, that becomes official at some point, like halfway through this year of 2021. But as we know from the reports, the acquisition of ZeniMax Media, the parent company of Bethesda Softworks, whom owns Bethesda Game Studios and all these other game development studios like Machine Games, Arcane Studios, and so on. That was like $7 billion, right? At the time?
Yep.
So if we're looking at a $7 billion acquisition by Microsoft this year, what company do you think is valued at that? Or close to that?
Not very many.
2K?
Yeah, maybe, but that'd be a disaster.
Yeah, EA?
Well, that'd be funny.
Well, first of all, if you look at Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, EA Play is already included in the subscription of Game Pass Ultimate, so...
Sure, well, we've seen funny stuff before.
Well, we never thought that Microsoft would acquire Bethesda, so...
Sure, we didn't see that one coming.
Yeah. So, Ubisoft would probably be on this level, completely out of nowhere. That means Microsoft would own Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs and Tom Clancy and so on.
Yeah, fortunately, when they say it's a large acquisition or a large merger, then you know it eliminates all but a couple of different options.
Because you know it's gonna it's not going to be Nintendo or Sony, obviously.
Yeah.
So who's basically left? The only other company I could picture is Activision.
Yeah, there's not too many to pick from of that size.
Yeah. And also back to 2K or Take-Two Interactive, that would include Rockstar then, and Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Then. And there's been rumors floating around about the next Grand Theft Auto, number 6, potentially being a timed exclusive to one platform or another. Most of the rumors are about it being a timed exclusive to Xbox, though, because Xbox needs exclusives.
Yeah, they do.
So with that being said, if this rumor does come to pass, I could basically see it being really only either Take-Two or Activision. If we're talking about the same amount of money that it took to get Bethesda. Because if we're talking more, then it would have to be Electronic Arts, but that would be... I would be scratching my head going, okay, great, so you own sports games? Okay. Big deal.
Yeah.
The only thing that would be meaningful for that would be owning Mass Effect, then.
Yeah, I mean, it's really bizarre that they keep doing this.
And then therefore technically be running EA when it comes to Star Wars. So, but that would be an improvement because then EA would have to listen to Microsoft then. So on paper that would be a good thing, but all of this is just speculation. This doesn't mean Microsoft is going to go out and buy EA, Take-Two, or Activision or any of these companies. We're just wildly speculating because there's basically no information other than the rumor of Microsoft possibly making a Bethesda-level acquisition this year. And we do know that they're still shopping, so...
Yep.
So, there's that.
Well, if they've got a multi-billion-dollar budget on that acquisition, then there's a lot to pick from.
Yeah. Speaking of Xbox and new things for it, the next topic... MLB The Show 21 is officially coming to Xbox One, Series X, and it will be launching at the same time on PS4 and PS5 on April 20th. Current gen is to cost $59.99. Next gen, as we expect, $69.99 for the standard edition of MLB The Show for the various platforms.
Yep,
So,
and we hope it's a great game.
yeah, I have pre-ordered the Xbox One version. I'm going to wait on the PlayStation version because that's the version that's been on for years. I want to see how this thing is going to be on Xbox first.
Yep.
Although I'm probably going to play it on PlayStation at some point because that's where all of my saves are, so. But there is a rumor going around that the Show 21 will be cross-platform save transferable. That being, if you play it like on PlayStation, through the cloud, potentially transferring your save files to Xbox. That's fucking lunacy. Anyway.
Yep.
I don't think Sony would be willing to do that. It's going to be weird enough doing an unboxing of the physical copy for Xbox. And on the bottom corner of the physical case, it says Sony Studios on an Xbox game.
Yep.
That's just going to be weird to look
bizarre.
at the entire time. And that's exactly what's going to be happening because if you look at the picture of the actual game art, that's exactly what's happening. An Xbox game that has Sony Studios printed right on it because they're publishing it on Xbox.
Yeah, and then you worry about whether or not these three, companies end up becoming some sort of bizarre unified super company.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to the show on Xbox for the first time, so. And it's been a long time coming, so. On a more positive note, even though that was positive, the Nintendo Switch has sold 78 million units in only 46 months on the market since it launched in, I believe, 2018. Which means that it's on pace to beat the PS4 and to either break even or beat the PS2 in total lifetime sales when it's all said and done.
Yep. Quite an amazing feat.
I'm not surprised by this, given the fact that Sony is going out of its way to discontinue the PS4 Pro and manufacturing of it during a time where no one can get a fucking PS5, and Microsoft going out of their way to discontinue production of the Xbox One X when no one can get a Series X or Series S. So, Nintendo selling console after console after console. Gee, I wonder why. So.
Yeah, well, it's, a customer-focused approach is the first thing.
Yeah. Which is exactly what we're seeing from Nintendo at this point. Kind of wish I were wearing Nintendo stuff instead of Xbox right now for the show.
Well, I support them tepidly.
I support Xbox because it's my preferred place to play multiplats anyway. Over the Switch, which is only a 1080p gaming console, if you want to call it that. And then PlayStation with their censorship, which Microsoft is slowly going that way. Nintendo's slowly going the other direction of just put your game on here. I don't care if there's jiggly bits.
These three companies,
yeah,
Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo.
Yeah.
Nintendo is basically like that friend that you know from another friend.
That you keep.
And Sony is the guy you like to punch in the face.
And
but you know that you get your ass kicked in response.
Yeah, and Microsoft is the friend that you've had for years who just occasionally does good things, but also occasionally fucks up too.
It's the friend that you wish could do better things with themselves.
Yeah, and then you keep hearing from Microsoft about this other friend that he has that just hits home run after home run, basically.
Sure.
Seemingly, because now I got Animal Crossing for the Switch. Because that came yesterday, and I did an unboxing right here on the channel, so go check that out, guys. So, yeah.
But yes, the one thing I meant to get across by saying that is that it's been a major love-hate relationship with these three companies for a long time.
Yeah. Speaking of love...
And that hasn't changed.
Speaking of love-hate, due to shortages of next-gen PS5 and Xbox Series X/S, devs, according to reports that I've been hearing, are hesitant to support next-gen over current-gen fully. That being PS4 and Xbox One, obviously. Possibly for the next 2 years max.
Interesting.
Which, if that's the case, there's no fucking reason to get a next-gen system till 2023 at the soonest. So.
But you couldn't if you wanted to anyway, so it works out.
Yeah, so games are going to keep coming for what you got, so just play them. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Which as soon as this information came across my desk, I started thinking, I want to do an episode of Is It Worth It? About PS5 and Xbox Series consoles with you, Desert Nord, at some point in the next week or so.
Yeah.
Going over, is it worth getting a next-gen system, not only 2021, but in 2022 for that matter. Although I believe I just spoiled that just now by saying it ain't. So maybe it's not even worth doing that episode now.
Situation where overall sales goals won't be beaten,
Yeah.
but eventually the system console will actually start reaching consumers because of tamed down demand.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be this weird dichotomy where the sales numbers go down, but the popularity goes up.
Well, next gen ain't very
situation.
popular with me right now, especially when you have games that were thought to be next gen games like Sackboy: A Big Adventure. That's on PS4.
Yeah.
Bugsnax. I thought that was a next gen exclusive. It's available digitally on PS4 too, guys. And there's nothing suggesting that God of War Ragnarok or Horizon Forbidden West aren't going to be on PS4 at this point. Especially given this bit of information.
Yeah.
Which means then we can also start asking, does that mean the next Gran Turismo is going to be on PS4 as well? There's a possibility of that.
You think it would be likely?
And that means that in theory, although Microsoft has already said it when they were gearing up to launch the next gen anyway, this past November, that they were saying that for 2 years after launch, they were still going to be having games coming out for Xbox One still for like 2 years. So there weren't going to be anything exclusive to next gen. So with this, does this mean that Fable is going to be on Xbox One as well when that comes out? These are questions that are going to be asked, like I just did. And they're questions that need to be asked too.
Yeah, and it also is kind of depressing, isn't it?
Yes.
There's so much effort by these makers.
Yes and no.
Into this new set of systems, and almost nothing is coming out of it.
It's depressing in a way, and I'll get more into it on Sunday when Gucci and I do the first episode of the D&G show, which is going to be just us just taking one topic and talking about it for as long as we care to. And that first episode is going to be about PS5 and the Xbox Series console launches and what has happened, what we feel that Microsoft and Sony could have done different to make it better. And then at the end of the show, we're going to be talking about if we had control over Sony and Microsoft, what would we have done for next gen?
Yep.
So stay tuned for that on Super Bowl Sunday of all days. Because we're going to film that. on that day, and I'm going to upload and release it the same day. So stay tuned for that on the 7th. Which reminds me, I'm also going to be live on Twitch on Saturday playing Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. I don't know what time I'll go live. Just pay attention to your Twitch notifications, guys, because I do post on Twitter when I go live from now on. So, and I also have a history of tweeting out other people's streams that I'm watching too. So just pay attention to me on Twitter is all I'm saying. So with that said, final topic here. The Mass Effect Legendary Edition is coming May 14th of this year. However, the Collector's Edition is going to be sold at $150, but here's the bad part. It does not come with the game.
This is where we throw our heads back in laughter.
That's when I throw my notebook, stare at the camera, and go, it's EA. What the fuck do we expect? But here's the thing. When it comes to the re-releasing of Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 for PS4 and Xbox One, the one game that's getting the biggest upgrade is obviously Mass Effect 1, because that came out in 2007. That's pretty much a given. But from what I've seen of the trailers and footage and comparison videos that I've seen, this shit actually looks really good. Like, they actually put a lot of effort into this for all three games. With the exception of the ending of Mass Effect 3. That's still the same tired-ass shit.
Yeah, the problem is that the first was the best.
Actually, I think the second was the best, but first was damn good,
we can
though.
debate it, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you're not wrong, in my opinion, to assume the first is the best. I think the second is, but the first is a damn close second to number 2, though.
Yeah.
And then third, right up until the ending, was damn good. Until the ending. Yeah. But anyway, for all three games on current gen hardware, running natively on it. By the way, it's all on one launcher, by the way, so you don't have to boot up each game separately and it taking 3 separate hard drive spots, whatever. It's all in one hard drive spot on one launcher on the console, so when you boot it up, you can select whatever game within the launcher itself that you want to start playing. Spoiler, start with the first one.
Yeah, well, that's a nice feature.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
And also, apparently, they've overhauled the character creator for all three, too.
Which is legendarily hilarious.
Yeah, meaning that whatever creation stuff was in number 3, you can use that in the first game now.
Yeah.
And same thing for number 2. And then the HUD for Mass Effect 1 was overhauled to mirror what is used in Mass Effect 2. So it looks like a current gen Mass Effect 1 then, for the first one. So
sure, well, they had to add some kind of value to this package.
Yeah, and for $60, all three games with literally every bit and piece ever released to the game, that is a tremendous value for $60. So on paper, this thing is worth $60 as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have it pre-ordered for Xbox. I'm going to be covering its launch. I'm going to be streaming it on Twitch, along with other stuff that I have to cover. I will not be streaming MLB The Show because I do not want to get in trouble for the fucking music in the game. Like I did with the Show 19 at the time. On a on a YouTube channel that I no longer have. So.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't get a copyright strike. I just got the whole video blocked, and instead of fighting it, I just chose to delete the channel, which it was called Phoenix Reviews. So. But it also made sense to do it because that channel shared the same name with like 2 or 3 other channels by the same name. So it made no sense to stay being Phoenix Reviews on YouTube and just to go back to what I belong being, and that's Drew Dat Games.
Sure, originality goes a long way.
Well, I also recently did a Google search of the channel on Google and whatnot, and I found something interesting compared to a couple years ago when I did it. A couple years ago, I was just getting Drew Brees highlights.
Sure.
But about a week ago when I did it, the first thing that popped up was the logo for the gaming channel and this very podcast.
Yep.
And then everything else was Drew Brees highlights after that. So now I'm popping up before Drew Brees in searches for Drew Dat now. That's good, I guess.
Well, you know, on the bright side, you can always rebrand the channel.
Well, I did recently remove you from the name of the channel because I felt you being in the name was a little bit over redundant.
Well, sure, of course.
Especially since your channel is linked at the bottom of the page anyway, so. Plus, you have your own channel, so.
Sure.
Either way.
Gotta work on content, but yeah.
Yeah. So, with that being said, if you guys haven't checked out Desert Nord on YouTube, I encourage you to go watch his intro video. It is short as hell, like, what, 20, 40 seconds? Something like that?
23 seconds, yeah.
Yeah. Short as hell. A quick watch. But I was highly impressed with it for what you were able to do with that, bro. And
yeah.
I even, I believe, posted that to Twitter that I was very proud of my younger brother.
Yeah, I saw.
I'm telling the viewers that at this point, so.
Uh-huh.
I know you saw, because you see everything I do. Or at least most everything. Assuming I remember to tell you that, hey, I'm live on Twitch, come look.
Yeah, I'm right now making content on what you would call the equivalent of a vehicle I built myself.
Well, I built my YouTube channels myself too, so.
Well, you know what I mean by that.
No, I don't think I do then.
Highly non-traditional, we'll just say.
Well, my stuff isn't really traditional. I don't edit a damn thing.
And, well, you know what I mean when I say that. What I mean is not with a ordinary camera situation, ordinary software, ordinary editing, none of that stuff.
I think I can picture how you managed to do that. Well, when it came to capturing the footage of your character in Skyrim, at least.
Sure.
But this is behind the scenes stuff to talk about anyway. We're still on the recording here. But with that being said, after this, I forgot to say this at the top of the show. What have you been playing lately, Nord?
Well, I've been just getting back into my old games. Mostly, you know, the ones that I took with me.
Yeah. Like, what was the last thing you played?
Well, I told you I popped in Skyrim, and I was also playing Oblivion. Oblivion's very frustrating for me because it's kind of a broken game still on the original Xbox 360.
I haven't played it since we went our separate ways.
Yeah.
At least I don't think I have anyway.
When the game breaks, it breaks bad.
Yeah. That's the way it was way back when.
And, like, you know, for someone like me that played the game for hundreds of hours,
yeah,
I'm not really keen on restarting another playthrough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like I would never do that. It's just that I can't imagine how much of my life it would eat up if I did.
I can't remember what the last thing was that I played. It would have been on stream. I think it was Dark Souls.
Yeah, I saw that.
Let me look here. This is the wrong channel. Okay. Guess I'm gonna have to bring up the web browser to find out then what the last few things that I've played. Dark Souls was one of them for sure. Just waiting for the page to load at this point.
Yep.
But, did you play Black Flag again recently?
Yeah, that's another one I got. I was thinking about making a video of that, but it'll be a little more challenging.
Yeah.
I certainly could. I just gotta really think about it.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Well, the page loaded at least. It just needs to respond now. Come on, quit playing goofy games. The web browser on the computer is so much faster than this. Anyway, upcoming games that I'm going to be covering is Resident Evil Village, MLB The Show for Xbox, Super Mario 3D World. That's coming out in the next week or so for the Switch. Well, obviously for the Switch. It's Mario.
Yep.
What else? Mass Effect in May. Like I just talked about with one of the topics, alright. So I played Dark Souls 3, Knights of the Old Republic, and Dead Rising. Those were the last 3 things that I've played then.
Yep.
Yeah, so I am not going to do anything today for Throwback Thursday for anything old because I'm gonna finish eating and I'm gonna lay down after that because I had to be at work at 3:30 this morning because my boss called me and said there's something weird going off the fire alarm. It's not working or anything. One person can't be in the store alone, so I had to go in with my team lead this morning because there has to be 2 people in the store during overnight for some reason or another. So I agreed to go in, and then I got done at about 8:30 or so.
Yeah, so you're tired.
Yeah. But tomorrow I am gonna do.
List of games I'm sure you have to backlog and play is probably immense.
Yeah, but tomorrow I will be doing a couple of games for Free to Play Friday, Indiana Jones, and I'm not sure what the other one is going to be, but I'm leaning towards Gears 5 tomorrow, along with Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb or whatever it's called from the original Xbox, from the Games with Gold games for February. So Gears and Indiana Jones tomorrow on Twitch, and then I'll bring over to YouTube for you guys on the gaming channel, that being Drewdet Gaming. And like I said, Saturday I'm going to be playing Cyberpunk, and then Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, that's going to be also, that's when the copyright strike lifts on Drewdet Gaming, so in theory, don't be surprised if you see me playing like Bugsnax or Spider-Man on there on Sunday before the Super Bowl, so.
Yep.
And then I'll be watching the Super Bowl, obviously. Then Monday, I'm going to try to play something. I don't know what yet, but just pay attention to YouTube and Twitch and Twitter to see what's going on Monday, since I have the entire weekend off at this point now.
Yep.
So that's what I'm going to be up to. Indiana Jones, Gears 5, Free Play Friday stuff, Cyberpunk, We'll see how that goes.
Yep.
And we'll see who wins the Super Bowl. I'm leaning towards the Buccaneers. I want to see Brady win one without the Patriots. You?
Yeah, this is another boring one to me,
But
I really won't be bothered too much either way.
I'm actually looking forward to it because, from my point of view, it's two teams that usually don't face each other. So much less in the Super Bowl.
The Buccaneers haven't been this far in a long time.
Yeah, not since John Gruden was the head coach, and
Warren Sapp.
And Warren Sapp was there, and a whole host of other Hall of Famers at the time.
Yep.
I can't remember some of their names now, but I'm sorry to you guys that I can't remember your names. But Warren Sapp was the personality of that defense, no question.
Sure, and we all remember that Super Bowl run with Gruden. It
was
pretty much a legendary run.
Especially since he beat his former team that traded him, the Raiders. Funny enough, he's with them today as their head coach. Fun fact.
And not winning, unironically.
Well, what can you do without a defense, you know?
Yeah.
Or a top-tier offense, even. But it is what it is. With that being said, what are you going to be up to after this?
Well, I'm probably going to catch a nap. Kind of tired myself.
Yeah.
I've got games to play and mobile apps to catch up on, and
I think I will say this to you guys, the viewers. If I'm up before midnight, then I will attempt to stream for as long as I can leading up to midnight. Like Knights of the Old Republic or something old that I have in my backlog, just to get like an old game and some content on Twitch. If I can't wind up getting up before like 11 or so, then expect to see me tomorrow then. Live on Twitch. So, and as usual, I will tweet out that I'm live, so just pay attention to my Twitter then. Which that being, I'm at dat_Drew on Twitter. So you can also find me on Discord as well. And that's all I think I really have at this point in time. Thank you for tuning in, guys. On your way out, please hit the like, subscribe to the channel to catch future episodes of this, and to catch the new series from Gucci and I, the DDG show, which stands for Drew and Gucci, obviously. And go check out Judat Gaming over here on YouTube as well. Like I said, the copyright strike expires on the 7th, that being Super Bowl Sunday. So after that, you'll be seeing me live on YouTube a whole lot more over there, playing PlayStation games. And then obviously come follow me on Twitch, so I have people to actually talk to while I'm playing games over there. That's Judat Games over on Twitch as well. With that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I hope you guys enjoy the games coming out, as I hope to as well. Hopefully the show ends up good. Hopefully we have a good time with Mass Effect, and hopefully they don't try to do too much with the trilogy in re-releasing it. I can't speak English right now. And I will see you guys later. As usual, fuck Naughty Dog, fuck Sony. Microsoft, I'm watching you, and thank God for Nintendo. Later, guys.